I'm Justin Clucky, 32 years old from Toledo, Ohio, and I'm going to take you into a deep dive through the depths and trials, tribulations of my life. I have a lot of daddy issues. That's pretty good, huh? Probably at least 22 hours, roughly, 30 hours. I know it's kind of a gap, so everything on my body is tattooed besides my ass cheeks, the front of my neck, and then my left foot. I do want to get my ass done, and then my foot is kind of like, it's a hard thing to process because I got on my right foot, I got the ampersand symbol for Of Mice and Men, which back in the late 2000s was one of my favorite bands. I think I was a junior in high school. I just randomly started getting into tattoos at that time. I don't know if it was because I was going through something, like in my adolescent years, you're kind of discovering who you are. My mom made me a deal. She said if I could keep a consistent 3.0 GPA, she would sign off on it and take me to go get it. I had to pay for it, of course, but the first tattoo I decided to get was my chest piece. I was 17. A heart with wings spreading on it, and it says guard your heart over it. I decided to get that because my dad wasn't around so much, which he had no reason to be in my life. So I think it was just kind of a quote that resonated with me, because the only thing you can do in life is either put on a happy face 24/7 or guard the greatest asset to your body, which is your heart, your feelings, your emotions. That was the first deciding factor on why I got that tattoo, because it was something kind of dark and depressing, but also meaningful to me. And the crazy part is at 17, you know, most people get script writing or a cross or whatever most people do at a young age. I just blasted my whole chest and I slept through it. You know, at 17, that's a big tattoo to get. The easiest tattoo I've ever had to get, which most people say suck, were my fingers. I have the Roman numerals and like all the scripture writings from the movie Midsummer on the tips of my fingers. And on the top half of my fingers, I have the quote, "High Hope," which I got because I'm a big fan of the Amityville Horror. I like the DeFeo case. And back in the 70s, before they redid the house and did all the renovations, they used to have right on their mailbox a High Hope sign. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to get, because High Hope not only is like a positive play on words, like always have hope, it's also one of my favorite books and one of my favorite cases. And then I actually went to Long Island, New York, and I went to visit the house. My longest tattoo that I ever got, if I'm correct, probably my back piece, the creature from the Black Lagoon. That was 3 sessions. First session I got done was the scripture and the outline. The script I have is gentle in the streets, creature in the sheets. I always thought that was funny because he is a gentle giant, but the play on words I thought was pretty cool. I think I sat in the chair just for that. It wasn't too bad. That was like the easy part about it. I was probably there for 2.5 hours. I came back, he shaded a bunch of black and gray in it. That was like another 3 hours on the table. On my third session, we hit it with color. Creature was just a boy being a boy. I love the Universal monsters. The creature is just cool because it's a walking amphibian, essentially. It's a fish man trying to find his love. Like, I just thought it was always cool. I was always drawn to it, and I'm big into monsters. And when it comes to the old time period of the Universal Monsters universe, he just has a very distinct look to him. He kind of draws himself out of that realm. The creature I've always found just interesting. For anyone deciding to get tattooed or going on their next placement, at least for me personally, the 2 worst spots are my back and my stomach. Tattoo I have on my back, it's probably, I think other than my stomach, was the worst tattoo like I had ever got. My whole body was sweating like that whole time I got it done, between the 2nd and 3rd session. And I usually can just handle it, I can raw dog it, but that one was like excruciating. The stomach one I was like 20, 21 years old. I got a lion tattooed on me. I don't know, I had some stupid idea back in my head when I was younger. I was like, oh, lion's the king of the jungle, this goes hard. I guess the best way to put it is I wanted filler at the time. And I was like, oh, I got a bunch of floral on me. Oh, I want something kind of majestic. What's majestic? A lion. I know there's people out there that have got worse tattoos, but it's not my favorite. It's kind of dark and depressing. I don't know why I wanted it for so long. It's a scythe and the crescent moon, which is like a symbolism for like death is certain. It's all the cycle of life. I don't like fear dying by any means, but we all know it's inevitable. Like we're all gonna die. And I just like the dark nature behind it of no matter what you do, you can't stop time. I had my buddy from Toledo, his name's Tomas. Yeah, he's worked at a couple shops. The scythe would be like the Grim Reaper, death, but the crescent moon I had implemented to that tattoo because if you think about it, the moon goes in phases, just like the phases of life. And it's become, not only is it simple, but it's like one of my favorite tattoos, even though it's a small, quick one that I got. The death is certain tattoo is one of my favorites. I got the echelon symbol on my ankle from 30 Seconds to Mars. Me and my friend at the time were big into that band back when they did an album called Love, Lust, Faith, and Dreams. Why is that embarrassing? Just look at the band now. Think things through. I do have a cover up. It is my blackout on my left arm. I got that done before it became a big craze. I'm not mad about it. I actually think it's kind of cool how people are doing like white work over it and translucent stuff with black work. I think it's really cool, and it goes back to like the indigenous people. Like tribes and stuff were really big into medicine and black work, stipple tattoos. I got this whole left sleeve done because my freshman year of college, I was getting a bunch of stupid tattoos. In-house tattoos, jailhouse tattoos. My whole arm was done, but it looked like a 12-year-old did it. The shading was off, they were all faded, the line work was lopsided. So my option at that point was either I get it lasered or in a way I cover it up. So I think to myself, it'd be cool to get black work, I'll black it out, and then I'll go over it with a whole brand new sleeve design within time, you know, do multiple sessions. I thought about doing white floral over it, so it kind of would pop. The arm's black, but then you do like a white design over it. It healed like a son of a bitch. It looked like I had an allergic reaction. It looked like I had hives. It was rough, and my arm was that wide. It looked like I had a million bees sting me. And it took weeks. It took weeks to heal. In the end, it was well worth it. Nonetheless, I mean, I still have more to go, unfortunately. So once that gets finished, I'll eventually do a whole new design or whatever ideas to make a brand new sleeve out of it. I just got out of a 6-year relationship. It was almost like I was rediscovering myself. I got really overweight. I was really depressed. But I went out and got a Nosferatu tattoo. Not only because I'm a fan of the monsters, Nosferatu's story is kind of heartbreakingly wicked in a way, because it's a guy longing for love, and it's a guy who essentially is dead inside. And I think that resonates. I even got Love Hurts tattooed over it, because at that time period in my life, I know I was young, but I had gone through a lot, not just with my relationships, but also my relationship with my dad, the person I had been with prior. And I just was at that breaking point in my life where I felt like I didn't trust anybody. If I'm gonna spend that much time with a certain person, or even, you know, somebody that is in my blood, both sides resent me or both sides decide to dissipate, it's almost like you have nothing left to live for. And that's depressing, and kind of like, it may sound overboard and obnoxious, but I think anyone can resonate with that. As you get older and the experiences you have in life, you kind of evolve with trust issues. I think the story behind Nosferatu resonates with me a lot because of what that character goes through, and also because I have like a love for monsters. So it was a 50-50. It made a lot of sense, you know, during that time period. So out of my favorite tattoos, I technically have 2 of them. One is on the left side of my thigh, which I recently got a Haunted Mass 2 tattoo from Ben White, one of my best friends. I had always been like a big fan of Goosebumps. I even had the books during all the book fairs. I grew up, just like many kids my age, with network television in the 90s. Goosebumps was a big deal. It was my introduction into horror films, but my favorite ones out of that whole series were Haunted Mask and Haunted Mask 2. People are partial to the original Haunted Mask, which I love it. It's a perfect 10. There was something about Haunted Mask 2 that was, to me, just felt bigger, broader, and better. There is a play on body horror in that one. His whole body, in a sense, morphs into an old man. I have both the haunted masks in my man cave, so to speak. It's just very important to me, and it's one of my favorite tattoos. My other tattoo that I have that is one of my favorites is my lovely girl that I'm with now is Abby. And I always thought her tattoos were so cool because she has a lot of dark and wicked ones on her. I remember when I first met Abby, I thought the coolest tattoo she had was plastered right on her ass. It says witchcraft going across her ass cheeks. I could be that, that bloke that every guy does, oh, this is the love of my life. I'm just gonna get her name tattooed on my neck. I was like, it'd be cool is to have a portrait of her piece on my leg because my leg's theme for everything is all pretty much horror related. So I have an old Polaroid picture of her ass cheeks in lingerie, and it's just draped in black script, witchcraft. My next tattoo that I have planned will be the bottom half of left or right side of my neck. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, if it's gonna be left or right, but I'm gonna get a floral chakra symbol. I'd like to have the floral within it kind of be dead, like a decaying type of floral. I don't know exactly what plant or floral that I'm using yet. And the chakra symbol is like for meditation. It's like the most calming, relaxing thing I've ever done. So that'll be on my neck, I'm hoping by spring. Will I ever be done tattooing myself? My mom wants me to be. I would say once everything's done besides my face, that's when I'll be done getting tattooed. If you're losing all hope and you feel dead inside and you want to feel something, go stick a needle in your skin. Yep, that feels right. Stick a good needle in your skin. If you want to make a good impression for the girl you meet, look like an inmate. It works every time. I may look scary, I'm not scary though. I'm actually like a big soft teddy bear.